for now, we're going to move on to the death of Kylo Ren / Ben Solo. So again, in recap, in that big final fight scene with the Emperor and Rey, Rey seemingly dies after defeating the Emperor with his own unlimited power. And Ben Solo takes her in his arms and displays another Force power that we haven't seen before. We've heard about it before, but we've never seen it actually work.
Well, didn't we see it with Rey earlier in the movie?
She brought somebody back to life?
No, not back to life.
She's healing.
Healing.
Okay, you guys are talking about healing. I'm talking about... Hold on. It occurred to me that you may not have ever heard of the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise.
The Jedi have never told me this story.
It's not a tale you'd hear from the Jedi. But again, Darth Plagueis the Wise was presumably the master of Darth Sidious, Emperor Palpatine himself. And in Revenge of the Sith, he tempts Anakin Skywalker towards the dark side, telling him that your wife, who you've had visions of dying in childbirth, we can save her with the dark side. There's this power that exists that I have access to that I can share with you. Turns out he might have been serious. Is that what we saw there? Because Rey was dead. I think that's more than Force healing. Force healing is like you have an open wound, like the snake, or like Grief Karga in The Mandalorian.
Yeah,
and
we just
you have that
just
basically
saw it.
healed up Wolverine style. That's basically what Force healing is to me. But when you're dead, there's nothing left to heal. She's dead. You brought her back to life. He transferred his life force into hers, sacrificing himself, becoming one with the Force. Did this work for you? Am I reading this right?
I disagree, because I feel like that is splitting hairs on healing versus resurrection. I don't think, as much as I want to believe that Darth Sidious taught Kylo the ability to resurrect people from the dead, I don't think he did. And the reason why is the idea of Force healing taking a toll on the body.
Okay.
We see it established early on that Rey heals the giant snake, and that
weakens her.
It weakens her a little bit, and then she not accidentally, but like she deals a mortal wound to Kylo Ren on the second Death Star. And in that moment, before he dies, admittedly, she heals him once again, and it again takes another toll on her.
He's not dead yet.
Yeah, does that make her weaker?
It
For
does.
the
It
fight?
You say I'm splitting hairs between resurrection and healing, but that's a big hair to split.
But that thing is, I feel like that wound took a lot more out of her than the healing the snake did.
Okay.
And so the next logical leap in logic, I guess you would make, is if someone is straight up dead, not breathing anymore, they have zero life force left in them, the only way of bringing them back is to transfer all of the Force user's life force into this inanimate body at this point. And the reason why that's different than Darth Sidious's power is because he could do it while still maintaining his own life, I would assume.
Sure.
So does that mean that Rey is a zombie?
No.
Not any more than Palpatine was.
No. And I think this works because, hear me out, now I'm going on a crazy wild ride.
I'm with you, Nick. Take us along. I'm along for the ride.
The difference between the Sith and the Jedi is their ability to the ability of thinking of the self versus the selflessness.
Yeah.
The Sith are selfish in their desires for the only thing that matters is the power of self.
And the Jedi don't.
And the Jedi are all about being selfless. You get rid of the self. You lose your sense of self in order to serve the community. So I think that there's nothing more appropriate than that display of sacrificing your own life in order to put your life into someone else. Whereas a Sith, it's a very, I can just bring you back. No repercussions. Actually, there are repercussions because Sidious is hideous as this Force zombie almost.
Yeah, I had a friend describe him last night to me as like techno nightmare Sidious.
Yeah,
which is pretty great.
I like that.
What was your read on that scene, Jamie? Did you think that is that healing or is it something more than that?
I don't know. I think that healing is different in terms of the amount of force that you're using. You are literally giving your life for another life when you are Force zombie. What is that? What do we call that? Like
Force
Oh,
resurrection.
no. I want you to name it right now.
Oh no, you already said it.
4, 3,
oh, no.
2, 1.
Oh,
name it.
no.
Go.
I can't
name
do it. On my
name
head's
it.
not
name
doing
it.
it.
I win.
No.
I win. I think the other aspect of this is that whatever power that Darth Plagueis, reportedly possessed, it was a dark side power.
Yeah.
And it at least in the way that Ben Solo fades away, becomes one with the Force. We've only seen that associated with light side masters, users. But what do you guys think? Was the way that Ben Solo saved Rey at the end of The Rise of Skywalker, is that an example of Darth Plagueis' power, or is that just another version of Force healing? Let us know in the comments. And guys, thank you so much. That about does it for us today, but we're not done with The Rise of Skywalker, so follow and subscribe to IGN wherever you like to watch.